journalists, and dozens of representatives of foreign governments. After we filed in, a group of police officers formed a tight cordon between us and the spectators. I was disgusted to have to appear in court wearing my prison clothes of khaki shorts and flimsy sandals. As a convicted prisoner, I did not have the choice of wearing proper clothes. Many people later commented on how poorly I looked, and not just because of my wardrobe. I had been in and out of solitary confinement for months, and I had lost more than 25 pounds. I took pains to smile at the gallery when I walked into the courtroom, and seeing our supporters was the best medicine I could have. Security was particularly tight, as only a few weeks before, Arthur Goldreich, Harold Wolpe, Mosey Mula, and Abdoulaye Jasser had bribed a young guard and escaped from jail. Arthur and Harold made their way to Swaziland, disguised as priests, then flew to Tanganyika. Their escape came at a time of hysteria about the underground and was greeted with blaring newspaper headlines. It was an embarrassment to the government and a boost to our morale. Our judge in the Rivonia trial was Mr. Quartus de Wet, judge president of the Transvaal, who sat in his flowing red robes beneath a wooden canopy. De Wet was one of the last judges appointed by the United Party before the Nationalists came to power, and was not considered a government lackey. He was a poker-faced judge who did not suffer fools gladly. The prosecutor was Dr. Percy Utah, Deputy Attorney General of the Transvaal, whose ambition was to become Attorney General of South Africa. He was a small, bald, dapper fellow whose voice squeaked when he became angry or emotional. He had a flair for the dramatic and for high-flown, if imprecise, language. Utah rose and addressed the court. "My lord, I call the case of the state against the National High Command and others." I was accused number one. Utah entered in the indictment and authorized that we be charged immediately and tried summarily. This was the first time we were given a copy of the indictment. The prosecution had kept it from us, though they gave it to the Rand Daily Mail, which had splashed it all over that day's edition of the paper. The indictment charged 11 of us with complicity in over 200 acts of sabotage aimed at facilitating violent revolution and an armed invasion of the country. The state contended that we were actors in a conspiracy to overthrow the government. We were charged with sabotage and conspiracy, rather than high treason, because the law does not require a long preparatory examination, which is highly useful to the defense for sabotage and conspiracy, as it does for treason. Yet the supreme penalty, death by hanging, is the same. With high treason, the state must prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt and needs 2 witnesses to testify to each charge. Under the sabotage law, the onus was on the defense to prove the accused innocent. Brown Fisher stood up and asked the court for a remand on the grounds that the defense had not had time to prepare its case. He noted that a number of the accused had been held in solitary confinement for unconscionable lengths of time. The state had been preparing for 3 months, but we had only received the indictment that day. Justice de Wet gave us a 3-week adjournment until October 29th. I was disturbed to discover that first day that Winnie was unable to attend. Because of her banning and her restriction to Johannesburg, she needed police permission to come to court. She had applied and been refused. I also learned that our house had been raided and the police had detained a young relative of Winnie's. Winnie was not the only wife being harassed. Albertina Sisulu and Caroline Matsolede were detained under the 90-day Detention Act, and Walter's young son, Max, was also arrested. This was one of the state's most barbarous techniques of applying pressure, imprisoning the wives and children of freedom fighters. Many men in prison were able to handle anything the authorities did to them, but the thought of the state doing the same thing to their families was almost impossible to bear. Winnie subsequently appealed to the